What's up, Junkie Nation? He's back. Clay Collard is joining us here on the hotline. He's got a huge fight coming up. So huge, in fact, it's the main event at PFL 10 on November 24th. It's a Friday. It's the day after Thanksgiving. It's Black Friday. Is it going to be Olivier Aubin-Mercier's Black Friday, Clay?
Is that a question?
Yeah, as in black and blue. Are you going to touch him up? Are you excited?
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I just got to keep his big Canadian butt off me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, I've often said you're arguably the most exciting fighter, or you deliver the most exciting fights in the PFL. Which one of those would, you can say both if you want, but which one of those are you more proud of when you hear you're either the most exciting fighter or your fights are the most exciting?
I'd say yes to both. I'm for sure the most exciting fighter in the PFL. I think that's a given. I think I'm one of the most exciting fighters in the world. So, yeah, it's something I am proud of.
Mm-hmm. Did 2023 go pretty much how you envisioned?
Yeah, I called it at the first of the year that it was going to be me and OAM in the championship. Had a couple little hiccups here and there throughout the season with little minor injuries and things like that. So we battled through adversity and stayed focused, and we're ready to fight for a world title.
Every fighter's compromised going into a fight, they say. So would you say those minor injuries have been cleaned up, or just like any other fighter? I mean, you'll go in there, hobbling a little or whatever, just like probably OAM will.
Yeah, most of my injuries are healed up. So by the time the fight gets here, I'll be 100%. So.
Mm-hmm. Is this the biggest night of your life in your career of mixed martial arts, or even just combat sports in general?
I mean, yeah, it's a world title. That's the dream, right? To be a world champion. So that's something I've been working towards since I started this. So yeah, I would say that coming up is going to be the biggest fight of my life for sure.
I'm so glad you said it that way rather than mention the $1 million. And I'm one of them buffoons that always mentions the $1 million. So I wouldn't have held it against you, but it seems like that belt means more to you than the money. Is it a close one too?
Yeah, I want the gold money can't buy. You get a world championship, you can't buy one of those. You can't buy your way into a world championship. So that means more to me than, I mean, the $1 million is a bonus. Don't get me wrong. I got to feed my family and pay my bills, but I'll forever be a world title, a world champion if I win that title.
Yeah, no doubt about that. OAM, you said his big Canadian hands off you, but heck, when it's for a world title, it should be a mean SOB on the other side. How much have you scouted this guy? Would you say you know his game thoroughly? And talk about that monumental challenge from he is currently the champ and he's going for 2 in a row.
Yeah, he's big and strong. His upper body's real big and strong. He's very reserved in the way he fights. Takes very little chances, So I think he's gonna wrestle me. I don't think he didn't want to stand with Burgos, and we all seen what I did to Burgos. So I don't think he's gonna want to stay on the feet. I think he's gonna try to get me down and hold me down and win the rounds by wrestling. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of wrestling work. Just getting ready to get this big Canadian off me.
Clay, when we spoke to OAM earlier this year, he had kind of just seemed like he was a little burnt out. Like he maybe even didn't want to do this season. And I wanted to ask you, like, have you ever felt that way, even winning, being on winning streaks, just feeling that feeling of being burnt out and not wanting to do this? And Do you think that can sometimes maybe play a factor in a fighter's mindset? Because to me, it seems like OAM's had a little bit more difficulty this year.
I wouldn't say that I've ever not wanted to do this. I love this shit. You know, we were in the back getting ready to weigh in for the last fight. Me and OAM were standing next to each other, and I was jumping around and getting all excited and getting all giddy, like, "Oh yeah, I love this." And he's like, "Man, me and you are the complete opposite." You know, like I don't like it very much. Like so. I think we just have a different personality in that aspect. I know he's coming ready to fight. It's his last chance to earn another $1 million and hang up the gloves. And I wanna throw a wrench in that scenario for sure.
Clay, how different are you from your first PFL fight, going through all of these things that people say catch them off guard a little bit with the PFL, and now being like a veteran of it? How different are you from that first day to today?
I think the biggest change in me was when I switched camps. I've always, you know, the tournament scenario has always, I think, played in my favor. I like to fight a lot and I like to fight often, so I think that's always kind of played in my favor. But just taking the time to focus on my grappling and the things that I was kind of neglecting the past couple years, I think that's what's been the biggest difference from then till now is the change in training camp and the change in coaches and the change in the way I train as well. So
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I've been distracted this whole interview, and I'm going to tell you why. Your background looks like it would be the set of a TV show. It looks really cool. Like it really does look like when you're done with this interview, you're gonna walk away. There's a camera, and that's just the set. Like, doesn't it look like a TV show thing, George?
A little bit, yeah. I remember one of the first times we interviewed him. I think he might have been in front of a vintage car or something like that, or you showed us a vintage car, and
Mhm.
either this is an entirely different home or different look. He's parted his hair,
Yeah.
like Clay Collard's kind
yeah,
of a little more domesticated now.
yeah. I had to get a. I'm in Utah right now. That's where my coach is. So
Mm.
I had to get an apartment just to have a place close to my coach. So I'm paying 2 rents right now.
Mm.
That will be will help us out. Yeah. So
Where
I'm from Idaho. Well, I'm from Utah, but I live in Idaho with my family and my spouse and my kids. But my coach is here in Utah, so I had to get another apartment. And it is nice and cozy. I like it.
yeah. We're gonna know
Place. So.
if somebody walks in and you hear like a round of applause, we're gonna know this dude's on some kind of TV show or something. Hey, look,
I want to go fighting, acting, rap star. That's my 10-year plan. So
nice. Hey, so I'd have to ask you this question because you're one of the people in our industry that can kind of answer this from two different perspectives. But I wanted to ask you a little bit about Francis Ngannou and boxing, right? You've done boxing before and you've
Great
done very
question.
well in it. Um, can you maybe break down what you saw and what you thought of that whole event and the performance itself?
I was very impressed with Ngannou's boxing. I trained with him a little bit back at Extreme Couture, and I wasn't expecting him to come out and be able to box like that. So kudos to him and the work he's put in. I mean, he dropped him in, I don't know what round, but he dropped him. It was a close fight. I think with the knockdown, you got to give it to Ngannou, but yeah, that's just my opinion.
Would you want to be on an Ngannou undercard in boxing if he pulls some PFL guys to join him?
If the money's right, I would love to box again. I've been talking a little bit of shit on Jake Paul on Twitter and stuff like that, hoping to beat him up. Nate Diaz boxing looked like dog shit, in my opinion. So yeah, I'd like to. I'd like to box. I like boxing. I'm good at boxing. You know.
Clay, if those two actually box and somehow the PFL has something to do with it, you should be either the alternate ready to step in case one of those two should go, but somehow involve
I
yourself in
told
that.
him, fuck Nate Diaz, bro. He might have a little bit bigger name than me, but his boxing is fucking dog shit. So I'll fight him in boxing. We turn around, fight in the smart cage. I'll get to put on a little weight. He's a little bigger than me, so I'll lift a little bit, get to eat, getting on the scale, you know. But yeah, I would love that, man. Line it up. I'm hoping to tell enough people, they start talking enough, they'll just do it, you know.
Yeah, I hear you. You have any plans for the money? Like, if you dreamt it, I
So
won't say who, but one PFL fighter once told us if he won, he wanted to. I don't know if you've ever seen the series. I think it's called something. What's it called? Goes Mediterranean
Below deck.
Below Deck. He wanted to take his friends and family on a yacht in the Mediterranean. There's a show on Bravo that does that. I've seen it, so I could relate. But how about you? Have you thought of it at all? Like, as an incentive?
yeah, so right now I got a 3-bedroom house and there's way too many of us living in there. So my money is gonna go to get me into a bigger place for me and my family. Yeah, I'm not really the biggest people person, so I want a house up in the hills away from everybody and just leave me the fuck alone. Yeah, that's where my money's gonna go to when I win.
Mm-hmm. All right. How big is the contingent going to be from Clay Collard in terms of family and friends? Are a lot of people going to DC, or is it a small crowd?
So I'll have a few. My spouse and my 2 oldest boys are coming, so those are really the only people I care about that are there. My aunt's probably gonna make it out. I'm trying to get my little brother out there. We'll see. But yeah, I'll have a small group there in Washington, but back home, I'm sure everybody will get together and I'll have a big crowd at home cheering for me. So
Very cool. Um, PFL didn't pay me to ask you this. This is just my question, but they've kind of changed your life, I guess. Would you not say? It seems like you're, again, one of their bigger names, and you've been successful. You've taken down a lot of talent that's been brought in from other organizations to possibly shine. You've delivered epic fights. I mean, you're part of highlight reel. That's valuable fight library stuff. Um, have you felt like what you've done for them, they've done for you? Like, saying, pretty even trade off. How happy are you there?
yeah, I'm extremely happy fighting for the PFL. My contract up is up this year, so I think with all the exciting fights I've put on and all the big names that I beat, I think leverage for a little bit more money with my family. So yeah, to keep me on, I would love to train for the. I love the tournament format. I like to stay in the tournament for more years and then maybe take a couple fights and do the pay-per-view. But I feel like I found a home in the PFL, and I'm not going nowhere for sure.
I think I got most of it, but you kind of were buffering. But it sounds like you're happy there. Your contract is up. You plan on asking for a little bit more money, but you feel like you've earned it. And I think you said maybe you might want to take a year off from the tournament format and just do pay-per-view type fights.
No,
Is that
I
correct?
want to do a couple more years in the tournament, and
Oh,
then
okay.
after that, maybe if they'll allow me to, do the pay-per-view thing, I would like to do that as well. So
Yeah. All right. Um, we have OAM on next. You got a message for him?
hope he has a wonderful day, and I'm ready to bring it.
Sounds good. Well, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. Thank you as always for the time. And we'll hopefully talk to you at the end of the season to recap the. I'm already going to say it's going to be a great fight because your fights never suck. So good luck, man. That's all I can say.
Damn right.